Oh, really? Oh, I gotta see this. Oh, I gotta see this. Was there a call or something? What's going on here? Go to the Nerdrotic and subscribe. Tell them Tyrone Magnus sent you. What you got for me, Roddick?
nerdrotic.com.
Greetings, you over 1 million hellions and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. Let's go back in time a little bit to early 2023, where the Weatherman, Disney CEO, made an appearance at Morgan Stanley's annual Technology, Media, and Telecom Conference, where Iger revealed that Disney is going to focus on quality over quantity. In late summer of 2023, Bob Iger once again said Disney to cut quantity and cost of upcoming films, focus on improving quality. In late 2023, we heard it once again. Disney exec talks quality over quantity. In May of 2024, Bob Iger reveals Disney's new plan for Marvel. Quality over quantity. And here we are almost a year to the day, and we get this. Disney CEO Bob Iger has admitted the company's film slate has struggled in post-pandemic times by focusing too much on quantity and not enough quality.
This was said on the 7th. And you've been saying this same... And they didn't change a damn thing. They didn't change a damn thing. They've been woken everything up. And remember, under the woke umbrella is gender swaps, sexuality swaps, and race swaps. And you got two of them in Thunderbolts. Ghost and Taskmaster. Don't want to hear it.
Is there a fucking echo in here?
As far as I'm concerned, it wasn't a good movie. The rest of y'all can like it. I don't care. It still wasn't a good movie. It can be woke and good, which is very rare. And a lot of you think it's good. But let me tell you something. It wasn't good to me because it was boring. That was its main fault. It was boring.
I don't think I'm going out on a limb here by saying it's been a rough year for Disney and Marvel with two monumental flops on their hands. Daredevil flopped. Thunderbolts, as it was called when it was released over its first weekend, was the second lowest opening box office weekend in Marvel's history, which might have led them to pull the trigger on the whole asterisk thing a little sooner than they wanted to, although they might have...
Yeah, some people think they had it planned. However, they didn't know specifically, or they may have had it planned specifically of how they would implement it. Like, because the asterisk was always there. So when and why are we going to do the reveal? Are we going to do it later if it's a hit? Or are we going to do it early to bring people in because they see Avengers if sales are low? Some people believe because of the low initial ticket sales, the pre-orders, that's why they let it out early. So, but I think it's also confusing the fans.
Planned the whole time to do it right after its first weekend. I have no idea. But admittedly, it did give them a bump on the Tuesday box office of $2 million. And it's still tracking behind Captain America 4 and tracking with the Eternals. Neither scenario is good. That being said, despite how I feel...
So it was worth a $2 million bump, supposedly. I don't know how worth it that is. And it's still trending behind those. Well, it means this is going to fail either way. And by the way, guys, start watching certain analysts, read up on what the analysts talk about when they're talking about these movies breaking even. Because if a movie's budget is 200, and all of a sudden you hear that worldwide they did 190, you're all happy jumping around like, hey, they made their budget back. No, they didn't. You got to learn what the numbers mean.
About the movie, it's well received by the critics. There's no surprise there, but it's genuinely and generally well received by the audience. And maybe it legs out a profit like Guardians of the Galaxy 5.
Yeah, I don't know how, because Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was better than that movie. And people are talking about it's the best thing since Endgame. Are you... No Way Home was better than that, whether you consider it Sony or not. No Way Home was better than that. And Deadpool and Wolverine was better than that. Like I said in my other video, I have no idea after sitting down and pondering how people could think that this is the best movie since Endgame. I have no idea. Any other movie out there that I've seen that I don't like, but other people like, if you give me some time, I can sit there and be like, okay, well, they probably like this, and they probably like that, and they probably like this. But this is the only movie where I'm like, I got nothing. And liking Sentry don't count, because he wasn't the whole movie. You get what I'm saying? Like, Sentry was the best part of the movie. I don't get it. I don't get it. And it kept feeling like propaganda, because I kept hearing people saying, oh, mental health, the way they handle mental health. Oh, it's all about mental health. Oh, mental health. Oh, mental health. Oh, mental health. So great, mental health. One guy even told me, if you've never struggled with mental health, then the movie won't be good to you. Wrong. I have never struggled with the type of mental health that Joker struggled with. However, I loved that movie, and that movie was $1 billion movie. So,
Volume 3, a movie that I liked and a lot of people didn't, and maybe it doesn't. Time will tell. But admittedly, it's worrisome for Disney Marvel, and desperate times lead to desperate measures. And no, not just changing your movie's title after its opening weekend, actually admitting a little defeat and taking a little bit of responsibility. Now, don't get excited because we're talking about Disney here, but it is funny watching them blame each other. I guess this video could be called Disney Blames Marvel for Their Failures, or Marvel Blames Disney for Their Failures. I'll choose one of them. At least this time they're not blaming the fans. This is from Variety,
about time.
Disney's quarterly conference call featuring the Weatherman.
It's funny, I saw something earlier, a news headline that says that like Marvel acknowledges that the reason why Marvel Rivals was so successful, it's because of the comic accuracy and fan service in it. Who would have thought? Wow. Blows my mind.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe in particular hasn't restored its luster since the epic culmination in 2019's Avengers Endgame.
Nope!
There has been hits since COVID, like Deadpool and Wolverine, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Doctor Strange Bomb, and now that I come to think of it,
It was a hit? It actually made a lot of money, though, didn't it? Made pretty good money. I never need to watch that again.
I think Thunderbolts is better than Doctor Strange Mom, but success has been widely inconsistent.
I'll actually watch Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness over Thunderbolts.
As tentpoles like
Although, like if you're making me, I might possibly watch it over Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Yeah.
Ant-Man and Wasp Commie-Mania, The Marvels, and Captain America Brave New World were among Disney's first comic book franchise installments to lose money since the MCU brought superhero movies in vogue.
Hold up. Something ain't right.
Thick Eric July.
Aren't you the same Variety who said less than 3 months ago, Captain America Brave New World flies to heroic $100 million over President's Day holiday weekend?
Would you look at that?
However, Iger views Thunderbolts, which is now called the new
Now I want to know what show that's from. I've never seen that before.
Avengers, which debuted last weekend as the Thunderbolts, to $76 million as the first best example of the studio's new priority to make better movies, even if that means there are fewer of them. Last time I checked, we're getting 3 Marvel movies and 3 Marvel series this year, including the upcoming Ironheart, the Fantastic Four featuring the female Silver Surfer, and the race-swapped Wonder Man. Now here's where the Weatherman seems to take a little
Keeping it woke, baby!
And he does, because he can't blame Bob Chapek directly anymore, because you can only do that for so long, and the man was never in charge. We all know that in our zeal to flood our streaming platform with more content, no, that was you, Bob, that we turned to all of our creative engines, including Marvel, and had them produce a lot more, Iger said during Wednesday's investor call. We also learned over time that quantity does not necessarily beget quantity.
Is there a fucking echo in here?
Yep! And frankly, we've all admitted to ourselves that we've lost a little focus by making too much.
No shit.
By consolidating a bit and having Marvel focus much more on their films, we believe that will result in better quality.
False.
You keep using the word.
I do not think amiss what you think amiss.
Translation, Kevin Feige's going to focus on film because he can't make television, and now somebody else is going to...
As long as y'all don't take the woke out, you're going to keep putting out garbage. Period.
oversee it, making it essentially a separate division, which it was before under Ike Perlmutter and Jeff Loeb, who both Kevin Feige and Bob Iger ran out of Disney. This brings us to our next article, which could be interpreted as the Kevin Feige and Marvel side of the story, and hey, a lot of this is going to sound familiar. From the Wall Street Journal, Disney wanted more from Marvel, now it wants less. The superhero studio is cutting back on TV production and fixing its film slate after fans lost the plot. Allow me to fix this headline and byline for you. Marvel blames Disney for its failures. The superhero studio is cutting back on TV production because they don't know how to make it, and fixing the film slate after they completely f***ed it up. And Marvel lost the plot. I think that's a little more accurate. I mentioned this in my previous video, but it's worth repeating. The head of Marvel Studios told colleagues recently that watching all the comic book giants' new TV shows and films had started to feel more like homework than entertainment. Welcome to the Chuds, Kevin Feige. The problem, Kevin Feige acknowledged, is that in an effort to satisfy parent company Disney's hunger for content on its new streaming service, the studio behind The Avengers churned out too many movies and shows with interconnected stories.
Which is wrong. We all know what the problem is. It wasn't too much, okay? Because fans would have ate it up if it was all good. Why wasn't it too much before? Huh? I know they churned, I know they sped it up after Endgame, but it doesn't matter. The fans loved it as long as it was good. The fans would have ate it up and binged and binged and binged until they were gorged, laying around on the savannah like some lions that just got done eating. Got what I'm saying? Okay, the fans love great entertainment. When it sucks, it's when they walk away. That's the problem. Too much sucky woke content.
And I'm sure you keen viewers and listeners out there are picking up what they're putting down. Spin. The deluge of material from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU, or MCU on D+, overwhelmed and eventually alienated viewers. Oh, we have been overwhelmed and alienated, but not by what the Washington Street Journal is insinuating. I'll get to that. It also stretched Feige and his team's resources thin, diluting the quality of their output, Marvel's box office sales, streaming popularity, and formerly untouchable position in pop culture suffered. Not as much as the audience. Now Feige is leading an internal overhaul aimed at getting the studio back on track. Marvel is making fewer TV shows with standalone stories that don't require prior knowledge of the MCU. Feige is focused on fixing the studio's movie slate following recent flops like February's Captain America Brave New World.
WTF, Gary? WTF? What the fuck does WTF mean? What the fuck? Oh,
Again, I have to point out that now it's okay to say that Captain America Brave New World is a flop and that Marvel has put out mostly since Endgame. Keeping in mind, based on those early reactions from the Thunderbolts, Marvel is back since the last time it was back. And it will be back when the Fantastic Four comes out since the last time it was back. And apparently Marvel's already had a hard reset with the Thunderbolts * New Avengers, which again opened up to $76 million. Oh wait, correction, $74 million, which according to the Washington Street Journal would put it to the lowest tier of the company's releases. Now, Feige declined requests for an interview. This article is based on interviews with more than a dozen people who have worked at Marvel or done business with the studio. Cutting out all the fluff, this is where all the current and former Disney Marvel employees start blaming Disney. Soon after Endgame, creative staffers began meeting in their office on the Disney studio lot to figure out where the MCU could possibly go next. In the nearby executive building, Disney senior leadership had another priority. Chief Executive Bob Iger was launching D+ as his answer to Netflix. He needed loads of new series for it and was counting on Marvel to provide many of them. The strategy became just expansion, 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 said a person who worked at Marvel at the time. Feige recently told colleagues he agreed to the plan because of a zealousness to tell more stories and a desire to be an excellent corporate citizen, a good old company man. It turned out to be a mistake. Poor Kevin Feige, who systematically got rid of a lot of people who were helping him through the first 3 phases, was spread too thin.
God, do you remember how happy we were, though? When we were hearing about all of these new series coming out, we may have scratched our head at some of them, but when they first started saying, hey, we got this coming out, we got this coming out, we got this coming out, we got this, you know what I'm saying? We were happy. We weren't overwhelmed. We wanted it. Problem was, it all went down the woke toilet bowl and stank.
Who worked at Marvel in the early 2020s, which was a year ago, said it was challenging to secure enough time with Feige to get his feedback. As a result, they sometimes spent weeks on work that proved irrelevant once he weighed in. They found themselves with little time to implement his changes before a deadline. Considering everything I've seen on Disney Plus, you could have taken all the time in the world and none of that crap would have been better. You would have been better off not releasing it at all. Quick reminder, this Washington Street Journal article came out after the Thunderbolts, but before Bob Iger's investor call today, which said a lot of the same things. This brings us to Marvel fatigue. The internal dysfunction began.
There is no Marvel fatigue. We've spoke about this. I've said it countless times. It's woke fatigue. Because if that was the case, so many movies wouldn't be bombing. So many television shows wouldn't be bombing. So many games wouldn't be bombing. It has nothing to do with your brand. It's what you're injecting into your brand. Woke garbage. People smell it and they don't want it. No more.
And to show in Marvel's output. Yes, it did. Viewers complained that there was too much Marvel content to keep up with, and a growing proportion of it felt subpar.
I didn't see not one person, and there may have been certain normies, maybe, but I didn't see one person ever in my comments, and I get thousands of comments daily. Not in my comments, not in other videos, not one person said, it's too much. Oh God, it's overwhelming. I can't.
That's putting it mildly. Fans rejected big budget event series like the alien attack drama Secret Invasion, which destroyed Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury some more. Shows the company was proud of, including Miss Marvel, about a Pakistani-American teenager who gained superpowers, failed to attract many viewers. And you know that's right in line with Miss Marvel's inability to attract comic book buyers due to her multiple canceled series. And let's not forget Miss Marvel tanked a video game to the tune of $60 million.
Yeah.
And tell me if you haven't heard this one before.
More than her.
The Washington Street Journal essentially admits that Marvel's two biggest hits, well, one biggest hit because the other one belongs to Sony, were just gimmicks. In theaters, Marvel's biggest hits during this period were nostalgia plays that tied up old storylines such as Spider-Man No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine. Up to 2019, Disney Marvel, along with Sony, had $9 billion films. In the last 6 years, they've had 2. Employees talked regularly about Marvel fatigue. They worried they had created a no new fans club. On this, I disagree, considering you filled so much of your content since Endgame with the message it's nauseating, considering what actors have said about the fans on the red carpet or in interviews.
See? I told you.
Considering what creatives have said about the fans on the red carpet
and they know.
or interviews.
They know.
Considering you made the fans the bad guy in She-Hulk, what you created was the fans club, which just so happens to be, to this day, to this very moment, the biggest mistake Disney Marvel has made and yet to acknowledge. Now, the explanation of what the No New Fans Club from this Marvel employee is, in which people unfamiliar with the state of the MCU couldn't watch a new release because they have no idea what's going on. And that's the spin. There's just too much stuff, which is utter bullshit. Being kind, if a little over half of Disney Marvel stuff over the last few years had been pretty...
Do you ever hear people complaining about there being too much anime? The complaint is when you get into anime, you have to play catch up. If you've been... Look, there's so much. You will have enough for the rest of your life. You have that gleam in your eye that you know that when you're done this series, there's the next one. And there's the next one. And there's the next one and the next one and the next one. And you'll never finish it all because there's so much anime goodness out there that pleases the fans. If they did that, they'd be fine pleasing the fans.
Any good? We wouldn't be sitting here talking about a hard reset again. And now they're going back to the arsonist to put out the fire, Kevin Feige. And I don't have an answer for this because I don't think anybody could replace Kevin Feige. He's done some great things, but not lately. He has clearly lost his touch. And the article gives a pretty good example, like, again, Kevin Feige's inability to crack the code.
I don't think Feige's the problem.
I mean, how in the hell do you...
It's what they're telling Feige to do and to put into the product.
Get Blade to kill vampires in a movie. Or when production started on the 2023 film The Marvels, the filmmakers got little attention from the overstretched Feige. After Quantum Mania bombed, Feige became more involved, hoping to avoid a second faceplant in 1 year. How did that work out? And now for this year anyway, everything is...
Doesn't matter if he's more involved if he's not changing the horrible things that they're doing. Okay?
Relying on the Fantastic Four starring Pedro Pascal and featuring one of Marvel's biggest mistakes in years, and that's saying something, the female Silver Surfer. Put simply, it was just a dumb business decision. You risk alienating a lot of fans with a female Silver Surfer, and you would have risked alienating absolutely no one with the real one, Norrin Rad. But I guess the good news is everybody at Disney and Marvel are pointing fingers at each other and not at you. And that's a first. You know what we say around here, progress, not perfection. So as Disney Marvel passive-aggressively throw barbs at each other while they're trying to figure out who's responsible for these failures, I think I can save them both a lot of time and speak for most of the audience. It's both your fault.
Yeah. You damn right, nerdrotic. All these stupid lies that they're putting out there. Damn shame. Well, post a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the situation. If you enjoyed my thoughts and my reaction, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. I will see you in the next video. 10 million subscribers.